This is Jonathan and everything edible landscaping potluck today, except for it's COVID-19, so it's not a potluck, it's more like lunch. Here we are today. I'm using this cool 13-month calendar, and it shows that we're in between the second quarter moon and the full moon. And start with finding out what's in bloom. So I'm going to find the edible flowers. My flowers are that way, so I have to go past you and grab them. These are the flowers from last week. There's some mustards flowering here. These look nice. There's some other flowers, but I'm not going to pick them like the daylilies because I can't eat those. But the strawberries are flowering. But I don't want to take too many of the strawberry flowers because every flower will turn into a strawberry. So I'll have less strawberries if I take all of the flowers. So I'll just take one, put it in there. The plums are all done flowering. There's some more mustard flowers, but I've already got mustard flowers. Here's a nice Camellia sinensis. No, maybe not sinensis. I think Camellia sinensis is the one that you make tea out of. Or it actually is like the commercial tea. This might be Camellia sasanqua, which they say you can make tea out of it as well, and that the dried petals from the flowers are used for making food. Here's some nice rhododendron flowers, but they're not edible, so I'm not going to put them on. Oh, there's lots of petals coming off of the cherry tree. I wonder if I could get some flowers. They're kind of high up there. Maybe if I jump. There's lots of cherry flowers. So this is creating something we'll take a picture of, and it's showing us, you know, what's in bloom during what time of the year and what phase of the moon. Here's some dandelions. Calendula. Here are flowers of the Oregon grape, but again, they're gonna make berries. So I don't want to take too many flowers because that means I'll have less berries. It's a good week for flowers. See if anything's flowering down by the beach. No, I was hoping for maple flowers. Oh, there's a red flowering currant, but it's too tall. I won't be able to get those. We can get the ones that are growing over on the midden. Nice. Like that. What else is flowering? The elderflowers. They're like little clouds. I harvested quite a few of these to make an infusion. And I harvested the top and I left the bottom to make berries. I'll put one of those in there. And what other flowers? Oh, here's dead nettle. Little purple flower. And the rest are mustards. Oh, here's some little white flowers. These are the corn salad. This bouquet is loaded. I think this is the most flowers I've had all year. And I see also the vetch has gone to flower. Pretty purple flowers. Looks like if I take off too much of the leaf, the flower goes with it. Where are you gonna go? Okay. Go in the house and give them some water and put them on the table. Oh, nice. Okay. Clear the way for the local food potluck. All this stuff off the table. Okay, so now what are we gonna eat? Grab my harvesting basket. And I think I'll start with I'll start with carrots, wild carrots. So I'll need something to dig them with. Or they might just come out on their own without digging, if the soil's loose enough. I'm trying to make the pathways really obvious so that nobody steps on the garden beds. Then if nobody steps on the garden beds, it should be easy to pull out the food plants and also the weeds. Yesterday we did a lot of work on here, planting strawberries, and we left the carrots in. But it's a little bit compacted, I can't get this one out. So we'll have to get a tool. And the wild carrots in their first year, they grow a nice carrot. In the second year, they make seeds. So it's good to get them before they make seeds. And they're not straight like the carrots you get in the store. Sometimes they're forked and crooked like that. But they smell like carrots. That's really important, because if they don't smell like carrots, it could be poison hemlock, which looks really similar. And there was poison hemlock around here, but I pulled them out. I'll show you this one here. That's a big poison hemlock. The leaves look really similar. And there's slugs eating it. I wonder if it's poison to them or if they're gonna be okay. But I think if they're gonna be okay, that's another good reason to make sure you're not eating slugs or snails from the garden that might be eating poisonous plants. That could be why people will starve them before they eat them. Some more wild carrots right next to the strawberries. They're small carrots. This one's maybe too small, I'll let it grow some more. These ones are very close together, so even though they're small, I'm gonna take some out to make space for the others. There's a bunch of weeds in here too. That's not a carrot. I think I'll skip this patch. Go to where it's easier, like here, where the strawberries and the wild onions were planted yesterday. There's some nice big wild carrots that were left behind. Well, maybe not that big. So I guess to find the bigger wild carrots, we need to look for ones that have quite a big top like this. As I'm going, I'm always pulling out grass, often. Let's see how big this one is. Oh, that's a good one compared to the others. So how can I tell if it's gonna be a good one or not? The tops, the leaves on this one are a little bit more purple. The leaves on this one are purple too. So it's not because of the purple leaves. Maybe it's the density of the leaves. This one's very dense and it's a pretty good one. This one has very few leaves and it's not very good. This one has lots of leaves. It's not super good, but it also doesn't have those purple leaves. This one just doesn't have very many leaves. So I'm gonna say the more leaves, the better. And also, if they're a little bit purple, maybe that means it's better too. Except for this one. But it doesn't have very many leaves. Okay, let's see what else we can find. This one looks quite dense. Has lots of leaves. So maybe that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. This one is quite dense. Maybe that's a good one too. It's all right. That one's, I would just say it's too small. Leave it to grow bigger. There are some in here. They're quite close together, so I'm assuming they're not going to be very big. I saw some in here. This one looks like it has lots of leaves. They don't have the purple on the stem. On second thought, the purple might just be a nutrient deficiency. Try this. Oh, see how big this one is. Oh, that's a good one. I actually broke it off partway. See if there's other good ones here. I think there's lots of babies. I don't know about any real big ones. I'll try this one. That's decent. So those ones where we were before, they don't get watered. These ones get watered a little bit. Wonder how big they would get if they were watered regularly. Yeah, they're better over here. They don't have the purple stem, so probably they have better soil maybe, and they get watered a little bit more frequently just because it's close to the house and I've planted other things in here. So when I plant the other things and water them, then the wild carrots get some of that water too. I can smell them. That one looks too small. Let's see what else we can find. Here are some Jerusalem artichokes. They don't need this greenhouse anymore. It's about time to take this away. Have to figure out what to do with it. For now, I'll just lean it over here out of the way. The best time for harvesting Jerusalem artichokes is in the winter time, or after they've gone to sleep for the year, because all of their energy is in the roots. Now that they've started growing, they're putting energy into things that aren't the roots. So since it's the root part that we eat, it won't be quite as good. That root's too small. I'll replant that. I want to find a big root for lunch, but I won't replant it so close to the pathway. So how do I know if one's gonna have a big root? Well, I don't know. Maybe if it has a big shoot, then it has a big root. This has a big shoot. I think I broke it off the root. The root's too far down there. Maybe this isn't a good place for harvesting Jerusalem artichokes because I want to save all of these miner's lettuce, transplant them somewhere else. So after I transplant them, then I'll be able to harvest these perhaps next week. The deer like to eat the Jerusalem artichokes. I'll plant this one here. It'll give a bit of privacy between me and the neighbors. Oh, there's some carrots here. That's a tiny one. I wonder if these are tiny too. Well, there's one way to find out. I'll just take one of them and leave the other one in so it can get bigger. I'm guessing they're tiny. Pretty small. This area has irrigation on it. So that means that things should be growing pretty well. These are my deer nets and something chewed a hole in it. So the deer are still getting in. And if you want to come in, I'll hold it open for you. Let's see if I can find some carrots in here. Here's one. It's probably a little one because it doesn't have very many leaves, so I'll leave it. Don't see any more carrots. Okay, let's go wash these off. Oh, there might be some in here. There's a little one there. There's a big one there. So you see me jumping around. It's because I'm trying to stay in the pathways and not compress the garden beds. I've used these shells. Oh, there's lots of carrots right here. This tree, it's where I hang the deer. And so the soil here should be really good. That's small. That's small. I'd say that's kind of small too. These ones are quite tall. I wonder what's the root going to be like. Oh, there's deer legs. I'll leave those ones. Stinky deer legs. She just said, holy cow. Oh, the cow. But it's actually a deer. Oh, a tiny carrot. These are so small. These will be better in the fall. Let them grow this year and then harvest them in the fall. See if any of these are good. I'll take this one right in the middle. That'll give some more space to the other ones. No, they're quite small. Okay, go wash them off now. The only part we eat is the carrot part. Then we'll go in the house and clean them up. I don't want this dirt going down the drain, so I wash them in a big bowl. And they can be a little bit tough, so I'm going to pressure cook them. Along with some roadkill deer. From March. That was a couple months ago. Make sure I got most of the paper off. That's good for the fire. I don't want to eat too much dirt, but I heard that a little bit of dirt's all right. Apparently the vitamins, some of the B vitamins are in the dirt. I also heard some of the B vitamins are in the meat. Now, one of the really important ingredients I've discovered is salt. And sometimes I'll go down to the ocean and I'll use salt water for pressure cooking the food instead of fresh water from the tap. But today I have some salt that comes from the ocean. I boiled off the water and I put it in this little salt shaker here. It's not totally white. So I'll put a little bit of this. March 6th, 2020, harbor salt. Put some salt in there. Some of the carrots are so small, it's a shame that they were harvested because they won't get bigger. But if they were in crowded areas, then it's a good idea because it'll give more space for the ones around them to grow. So that's why pulling weeds out is important. Or being aware that plants need space, just like people need space too. I've heard that plants are people. Yeah. Some of them are bigger too. All right. So maybe we should put some spices in there. I have lots of oregano. I'm trying to use it up because I have lots of it. I'll go get the big jar. Where is it? Oh, I'm doing good. I almost used it all. Now there's fresh oregano growing. And how about some onions? We can cut the tops off. Follow me outside, we'll get some onion tops. Look how nice and big these ones are. That's nice. later we'll transplant these onions so that they have more space. Because right now they're really close together. And when I worked on a farm, Madrona farm, we used to cut the tops of the onions short before transplanting them, just like this. Yesterday we transplanted onions and we didn't cut them short. So we'll see if it makes it easier today. Any other onions? Here's a few. And here's a leek. I guess we could add some leek.
Ooh.
Okay, let's put that in the pot. Oh, maybe some thyme. And one piece of mint. Beer is good with mint. It doesn't take very much. And then the smell gets into it. Okay, I'll chop this stuff up and put it in the pot. Everything local. Everything pretty fresh. One of the big challenges of the local food potluck is where do I get fat from, and oils like cooking oils. Deer doesn't have very much fat. This deer didn't anyways. In the past I caught some geese and they had lots of good fat. So that's one option. I heard traditionally people used to eat seals, and still some people do eat seals. It's illegal for me to hunt them here. They have a lot of fat. I heard that fat is really important for us in absorbing the fat-soluble nutrients, vitamins A, D, E, and K. And if we don't have fats, then our body can't absorb those nutrients. So for vegetarians, I guess they get fats from nuts and seeds. That's why I planted hazelnuts when I got here. 6 years ago. All right, put that in the pot. Now put the lid on there. Crank it up and put on the top, the highest pressure. Okay, now let's go get some salad. First thing we have on the north side where it's shady, these are called wood sorrel, and they look like little hearts. Sometimes they have purple underneath the leaf. They taste kind of lemony. All sorrels taste sour. So I guess I should say they taste sour, not they taste lemony. Action. I changed my shirt and we had to do some things with files on the computer, so it's been a little while. It's probably almost cooked, so we're just gonna finish picking the salad and then we'll be able to go in and eat pretty quick. So these are salsify, and you can eat the leaves. So they're all right in a salad. Some of the salsify get quite big. And dandelions, the flowers are edible. Make sure there's not too many bugs on there. It's nice to have some color in a salad. Some people will eat the dandelion greens. I find them too bitter, so I don't eat them. More salsify. Here we have some mustards. they're going to flower. Some more color. And the leaves are quite hot. This little one is mallow. The new fresh leaves are edible. And let's go in here. Fennel is always nice. All of these plants have quite strong flavors. It's not like lettuce where you can eat lots of it because it's so strong. But I think fennel is really good for digestion, gets all the juices flowing. That's what I've heard. I believe it. Everything else is a little bit too small. Here's a good one. This is corn salad. And because it's so mild, you can eat quite a bit of it. It's not a strong flavor like the mustards or the it's not sour. It's closer to something like lettuce. Kale is always great. And especially when it starts to go to flower, these tips are really yummy. Just bend it and find where it snaps. Oxeye daisy is also edible. The leaves are quite tasty. They have a really sweet flavor. Some books say that they're pungent. I don't really know what that means. To me, they taste good. However, I researched it and they're an invasive plant. So I've been pulling them out to try and keep their numbers down. They're pretty easy to pull out, so that's nice. It's not like buttercup. And then once they are pulled out, they leave like a significant area that is weed free. So I like pulling them out and then planting something in the hole, which is what I did the other day with some strawberries and some help. Here's another sorrel. This is called French sorrel. The leaves of this get really big and it's pretty easy to grow. Again, like all of the sorrels, it's kind of sour. In here we've got some parsley and some buttercup. Be careful not to eat the buttercup.
Which is?
They look pretty similar. This is the buttercup. I'll pull those out later because I don't want them. And here's another type of sorrel. This is called sheep sorrel. They look like kind of like fishes. And like all the other sorrels, sheep sorrel is a sour flavor. These flowers give away the hiding plants of corn salad. The petals of the calendula I put in salads sometimes for color, but I've heard that for some people it could not be good for them. And lemon balm is another strong flavored plant. Maybe I'll put a little bit in the salad, but not too much because it can be overpowering. Same as mint. Peppermint.
Very good for tea.
Definitely good for tea. Here's some more of the oxeye daisy, which is that kind of sweet flavor. Okay, let's go wash it and then eat it. That'll get most of the dirt off. Any bugs that were on it. And let's see, how is this deer? So I pressure cooked it. It smells all right, but it looks like a mess. So I think I'll cut it up. Separate the meat kind of like, what is it called? Pulled pork? If it's cooked enough, it should come apart like pulled pork. Yeah, it's coming apart pretty easily. Cleaning up. There's tendons on here. I don't think that's the edible part. That will go in the compost. Because it's from a deer leg. And this we'll put into something like a little bowl. Or maybe a little pot. Has to be big enough. It might fit in there. Take out the butcher paper. There. It'll be fun to show off some of the deer, so I'll put it up on top. Okay, so we have some deer and vegetables, and then I like to have the deer with a little bit of plum wine, fermented plums from the backyard. And a salad. It's a mountain. So there's our local food potluck. We have the flowers that show us what's in bloom and what's in season. And then we have our food. Bon appétit! Au revoir les amis!